Clap, clap, clap.
Dearly departed, we are here today to mourn the loss of the President's Trophy Avalanche.
What a waste of a season.
Welcome to the PesterLinePod, now featuring our super chimp. Thanks, Sean. Looks beautiful.
Hey.
With Sean and Alex, I'm Mike, and we're here to...
And we're sad.
Yeah, to share our tears and be sad with you guys as we talk about the end of a very promising season for the cursed President's Trophy Avalanche.
Sometimes it's frustrating as an English major. You might get this. That, like, words just fall short sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sad doesn't encompass everything.
No.
Like, I'm sad.
Morose.
I'm sad when my milk in my fridge is expired and I didn't realize it.
Are you crestfallen?
This is a year's worth of buildup that's just gone.
Melancholic.
Watch
all
a
the
team
above.
that lost once through the first 3.5 months of the season.
Gets not only lose, but gets swept.
Exactly, and that's we said in the green room, again, the table over there. there is no team that deserves to win the cup. Like, I don't care who you are or how you are, nobody deserves to win the cup. That's why we play 7 games, and like that aside is like Vegas was the better team. I picked them in 7 because, I thought the Avs would give a little bit more of a fight. But there is just a cataclysmic disappointment in being swept in the Western Conference. Like, that is different than just losing a series. That is all hands on deck. We've hit the iceberg.
Yeah, I don't have very many words to describe what happened. I know I went in with a lot more optimism than I probably should have, if I'm being honest with you. Oh, yeah. Oh, the brotherly bond. But I went in with a lot more optimism than I probably should have, if I'm being honest.
Same.
And
Well, we were President's Trophy winners that lost once.
right.
There was optimism to be had.
But I'm thinking about it from now in a hindsight of
Hindsight's always 2020.
facts. And that's where I'm
back, it's still a bit fuzzy.
That was pretty damn close. That's pretty much what Dave Mustaine sounds like now. But the frustrating part is they made a lot of mistakes that they shouldn't have made for a team that is as veteran and as stable as they've been during the regular season. On top of the fact that they made Carter Hart look like Patrick Waugh, and that pisses me off to no end. They didn't get very many. They got a lot of shots, not in Game 4. Game 4, they were blatantly outplayed from minute 1.
But Nelson finally hit the net a couple times in Game 4.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. But the part that pisses me off, I think, more than anything, is that they played slow. And I'll admit, during I think it was Game 2, I was super optimistic through a lot of it. No, it was Game 2, yeah.
No, Game
1, you were super optimistic in Game 1.
And then Game 2,
Game 2 we were up 1-0.
Because I remember in Game 1 when we were talking about it, and Alex and I were both kind of on the like, oh well, this is
bad.
Like, Vegas is pushing pace. And then it was Game 2 where you were still super optimistic because Alex was at Game 2, and it was like this, and you sent the stats over, and it was like a 50-50 split. But it was like, that's one of those situations where I hate people that are like, stats are all that matter. because that's a perfect example of it, where the stats were pretty even.
Yeah.
But watching the game, the Avs were reacting,
Right.
and not pushing.
Right. And I was looking at it from the perspective of seeing it as like they weren't getting the way I looked at it was they weren't getting outplayed completely. They were getting beaten to pucks. They were finding ways, but they were exactly like you were saying. They were reacting. I was looking at it from the perspective of the guy with the burgundy colored glasses on being like, yeah, but they like kept him to the outside. They didn't force a lot of great opportunities. They didn't do a lot. And then the third period happened and Alex said exactly, can I be doom and gloom now?
Well, yeah, because
Deservedly so.
I remember exactly when I got that text from you about the stats. I kind of laughed because I was with my mom, and I looked at it and I was like, we are at home in arguably the first must-win game of the season. We have the last change. We control the matchups, and it's still 50-50. Like, that's even a loss in my book.
Yeah.
Like, you already lost home ice advantage in the last game in incredible fashion, going down 3-0. Like, that was like the first alarm bell, but I'm like, all right, splits happen. We had a break. Vegas is hungry. I wasn't going to write them off. Like, okay, we lost game one. We came back a little bit.
Yeah, it's
and
the
like,
Western
showed
Conference
some life.
Final.
Yeah.
And Vegas got hot towards the end of the Anaheim series.
But, man, game two is like our power play still looks fucking atrocious. And
yeah, that's
and
something
Vegas,
that needs to be addressed.
and like we can't get anything through to the net. Anything that does get to the net, Carter Hart sees a mile away, and there wasn't a fire. There wasn't a chemistry of like in period one, like you guys need to come out on fire, and it looked like Vegas ran the first period, and the one goal we got was kind of like it was one of those moments where everything goes right for a team and you're still down 1-0.
Right.
And Vegas had the maturity, they had the experience.
Maturity is a stretch.
Well, Tortorella, I mean, yeah, they had the maturity and the experience to sit there and be like, we're still going to play our game. We're down 1-0.
Right.
We should be winning. Wedgwood's playing great. We're still going to play our game. And Jack Eichel made it all pay off with just a dirty-ass goal that I'm sure Wedgwood would love to have back.
I am still of the mindset I agree with Josh Manson. The third goal shouldn't have counted, but you shouldn't have been in a situation where that third goal had to happen. I will say I'm going to call this out now, and then we don't have to talk about it for the rest of the podcast. It was one of the worst refereed series I've ever seen in my life in a lot of ways, but you can't play that shitty and blame refereeing. That's what I'm going to say. Because, yes, there were missed calls. Yes, there were missed opportunities. Yes, there were bad situations all over the ice, completely blown interference calls, a take back on a penalty because Braden McNabb, I don't know. But those are the symptoms of the overall problem that you as a team played down and like shit. Simple as that.
Yeah, that very much the officiating in that series was atrocious both ways. Honestly, I mean there were some things that the Avs got away that it was like, oh, that should have been a penalty.
Correct.
But like, God, in Game 4 when Hurdle runs through Natchez,
like literally
and
backs into him,
and then I forget their
Dave Jackson.
Dude, Dave Jackson. They're like, oh, let's go to our rules analyst, Dave Jackson, and see what he thinks. And he's like, yeah, that's a penalty, but you miss those sometimes.
Yeah, he openly said that on the broadcast. Like,
shut
yeah,
the hell up.
but don't give him a major and then review it and lower it to a minor. Why not? That's what it's there for.
But yeah, I mean, like I say it a lot. Like you can blame officiating all you want, and anybody who is strictly blaming officiating did not watch that series.
Correct.
Like, yeah, the officiating was absolutely terrible. It has been the entire season, and it seems to have gotten worse in the postseason. But you can't outplay bad officiating and just absolute poor play. And I don't know what the Avs were doing, but they were not playing their game.
I will say this too, and Alex, we can maybe agree on this one. Oh, go ahead.
No, you're. I was
She's
well,
agreeing
wait.
with you.
But
wait, there's more.
And Sean, you might agree with this too.
I disagree. I hate it. Wrong.
I think this series proved to me the concerns that I had about Nazem Kadri in some regards.
Oh my God, Alex said this last night or the other night.
This was so Alex and I both
almost
kind of agreed
almost the
Yeah.
exact same thing.
that this was the concern. When the trade happened, I was worried that his reputation would pull him out of the series.
But hey, he didn't get suspended.
He didn't get suspended, but he
So-
lost his fucking head. In this series, he did not. I think after Game 3, you and I both said he needed to watch the rest of the series from the press box.
I think it was like sometime like
Was it
towards
game
the
2?
towards the end of game 2. It was
Yeah.
like he
It
needs
was
to watch
2
the next couple.
because
He
there
needs to
was
watch the next game from the press box.
there were
because
2 odd man rushes. I think a breakaway on Vegas' side because of Kadri's just bonehead. He sent one like towards Wedgwood.
He was trying to hit Malinsky, and
It's
Malinsky
like,
overskated
don't do
it.
that.
But you don't pass it back to your defenseman in front of your goalie.
Knowing that
with
there's pressure-
William Carlson
knowing
right there.
yeah, knowing Vegas because you already played game 1 against Vegas. You know their game plan is a just aggressive forecheck. You know they're going to be there.
Yeah.
Like
well, it's
what
like
the fuck?
in game 4. The whole reason Stone was alone was because Kadri missed him getting behind him. Like
So-
you could
That was
you
a hell
can-
of a catch, though.
It was like you can blame Taves and Makar for pinching up a little bit all you want.
they're playing reckless because they need points.
Right.
But like Kadri had no idea Stone was behind him, and Kadri should have been paying attention. When you see your defenseman step up,
That's the whole point of a defenseman pinching.
That's the-
is you
that's-
know you've got a guy coming to take
yeah,
your
that's
place.
the whole thing that that your third forward should be doing there. Is like, oh hey, there goes my defenseman.
Oh,
Maybe I should get back a little bit.
just gonna
And he
scooch on back
didn't.
here.
and then all of a sudden Stone's in all by himself. And there's no way to spin that in a way that doesn't make it look terrible for Kadri on that, even though everybody's going to try to blame Makar and Taves for pinching at the same time. You know, playing on this team, you're not new to this team.
Yeah, you're not new to
You've
the
been
system.
on this team before. You won a cup with this team. You played with Makar and Taves. You know what they're going to do.
You raised Makar
you
from a baby.
you saw him
He
from a
weaned
child.
off. He weaned off your teat. He
Like-
weaned off your
but you know-
aggressive little teat.
But you know, if Makar sees an opening, he's going to take it. And you're on the ice with you should know better.
Makar's ravenous for openings, cookies and openings.
Well, and then
And Slurpees.
can we? I don't know what it is about how we set up. Maybe it's on the power play. I don't know. Why are the Avalanche so susceptible to backside passes? Because
Oh my God.
the goal Mark Stone scored, the power play goal that gave them the first goal, I wanted to blame Taves until I realized that they play a diamond.
Yeah.
On the power play. So I initially blamed Taves, and then I realized that he was in the right position. It was, I think, Nelson, the forward, who was out of position on the backside. And the thing about it is I don't understand where our backside discipline isn't there on both sides of the puck, or on both sides of the puck,
there
because oh god,
Yeah, I was just on that. There's multiple goals that happened where all of our guys were on the same side of the ice.
Lined up like the planet, like that scene in Hercules, the Disney Hercules, where all the planets line up and just shoot a lightning bolt through the solar system
guys,
to
there
unlock
was-
the Titans. It's like, here comes Stone.
Because there was that one power play goal that they scored in Game 3, where like all 4 of the defending Avs were in a straight line on one side of the net.
The wrong side.
yeah,
The
Like,
puck was
they
on the
were-
other. If you
they
were on
were
the
all-
one side, like
They were all over here, and the puck went over here.
I had flashbacks of Nate Gennon.
And I
That's
was
an
like,
inter-
oh my
that's
god!
an
I was like,
interesting
what do you do?
strategy, Cotton.
It's like, what do you do as the goalie there when all 4 of your players are in front of you over there?
And it's on the other side too. Like, okay, Game 4, you have one guy on the backside of every shot that fucking Carter Hart blocked. I've seen fatter rebounds in an NBA game than what Carter Hart was giving out in Game 4. And if we had one guy on the fucking backside, just one. I don't care if it's Kulak. I don't care if it's Sean. I don't give a fuck if it's you or you. Someone needed to be on the backside. It happened like 8 times.
It
We had
feels-
the net was as wide open as some of our exes. It's unfortunate.
It feels like, especially in this series more than anywhere else, that the Avs had this one shot and we're done mentality. There wasn't a whole lot of crash in the net. There wasn't a whole lot of bodies in front. And like okay, so if you don't have bodies in front, you're basically neutering Landeskog and Lehkonen, because that's their whole game, is playing in front of the net, tipping pucks, getting in the dirty area, which I think that's the dirty area.
I would agree.
Everybody talks about the dirty area, but nobody ever specifies where it's at.
The dirty area is in between your pee and your bum.
Oh, that's the taint, the gooch.
It taint one and it taint the other.
The goosh. No, it is so frustrating, and the Avs very much got back to trying to pass the puck into the net.
Well, like I'll say, what little goaltending I did play, one of the things the coaches drill into you very early on is if you can't suck the puck into your chest and just absorb the shit out of it, make sure you know where the rebound's going and like watch the ice and to see who's coming at you, to see like where you can send the rebound should it like be uncontrollable. And man, it is the weight off his shoulders when Carter Hart notices that they're not coming for this rebound. That means he doesn't have to put himself in a riskier position to absorb the puck. He can just bout it away with like a blocker or with a leg pad, and that opens up his game. Like, you're already making a goaltender who's playing really well. You're giving him more options. That's an insane thing to do. And that's why you see, like, when people start crashing the net, you see the goaltender start absorbing more pucks, getting a little bit more out of position to be able to absorb said pucks. Because he has to, because he knows if he lets out a rebound on any direction, somebody's going to get to it.
Yeah, like that.
And there's going to be a battle for it.
That like leap to cover the puck outside the crease.
You don't have to do that when there's nobody attacking. When you
Correct.
can just send the puck anywhere, you can send it to fucking the concession stand, and there'll be a Vegas player just waiting for it. Like, oh, thanks, I'm just grabbing popcorn, and I'll take this, I guess, and score. And so, like, that's the main problem is you gave Carter Hart too many options. You let him play the game he wanted to play.
Well, like, you also played into Vegas's game plan. Like, Vegas clogged the neutral zone up, and the Avs' game plan is to score off the rush.
Right.
Like,
It's
make
been
those,
that way for fucking 10 years.
Like, make those long stretch passes from your D zone into the neutral zone, spring a guy, and Vegas was locking it up, and they kept trying it.
Well, they like I said, they've been trying it for 10 years, Sean. This has always been a
And
problem.
that
Every team
goddamn
that's beaten
drop
us
pass.
has found a way to neutralize the neutral zone. Sean's like, that can't be the right word for it.
That middle part.
And like
They play as much of a Jersey 90s trap as you can in the modern game.
the
Right.
Avalanche are probably the greatest team in history on the rush. That's fine and dandy if you got a few other tools in your bank when teams start stopping that from happening. Because as soon as that option's taken away from the Avalanche, it's like they're angry kids who didn't get their way, and they'll go pout on the bench about it.
Well, and that's why I think our the O'Connor line looked like the best line in this series, because that line is very much
Dirty.
dump the puck in, go fight for it.
Right, and that needed more of that, and I think that leads to the next question that we have, and I'm not bringing up trades. I'm not bringing up firing anybody, because honestly, we don't need to talk about that right now. We're still high on emotions.
I'll talk about it until the cows come home.
I meant right now. That's in a second.
That's later in the episode.
That's later in the episode. We're going to talk about that. I'm talking
Trade
about right
the equipment
now.
manager.
I love that guy.
Fire Bernie.
You know what? No, maybe that is it. Maybe we need to get rid of the dog
There's the dog.
Bring the Yeti
and
back.
bring the Yeti back.
Bring Howler back if we can.
Well, I mean-
hey, fucking Arizona's gone. We can bring Howler back.
Not to derail you, like I already have.
That's okay.
But Bernie, the Burmese mountain dogs, that's what he is, right?
Yes.
Their whole job is to rescue people from avalanches.
Right.
That's
it's counteractive.
That's a weird mascot, whereas
Yeah,
the
see?
abominable snowman fits.
Attacks out of the avalanche.
Yeah, he's
why
like,
don't we get charges, like get a giant charge that creates an avalanche?
boom.
Boom.
Our logo is our mascot is a stick of dynamite.
His name's Tint.
Our mascot is 2,000 snowflakes just running around us. Ah!
And each one is different.
You just see him run down the stairs like, what's a lot of snowflakes?
Wow, those last snowflakes.
A lot of snowflakes.
How many
I wanted-
mascots do you have? Holy shit.
2,000. It's pretty crazy. I wanted to bring up a comparison to this year's President's Trophy team to the last President's Trophy team that kind of gets talked about the most, which is that 22-23 Bruins team. Or was it 21?
Bears.
No, the Bruins team that was just
the Bruins team that had 135 points and won 62 or 65 games. They have the same situation that this Avs team did in terms of goaltending. And if you think about it from the perspective of the general fan, you know, the tandem goaltending situation is not what you would consider peak. Like, it's not one of those situations that you would want. When you have solid goaltending in a situation like that, where you have a guy like Blackwood and Wedgwood, who are, you know, Jennings winners. We looked this up off camera. The last time a Jennings winner also won the cup was 2014-15, which was the Blackhawks and Corey Crawford.
The Blackhawks.
But the trend, so that's 10, 11 years. Like that's the last time a Jennings trophy winner won the cup. So the question then ties into, did the goalie by committee or tandem goalie situation create sort of the problem of inconsistency in net for the playoffs, even though we had only lost one game going into the Western Conference Finals and Wedgwood played a majority of those games? Is it a problem, and could it potentially be an issue going into the future? Or do you think, since we paid him, Blackwood is number one, and we go into the season hopefully with a healthy Blackwood and see what happens?
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Indubitably.
I hate goalie tandems. I think you need one solid guy with a reliable backup to come in and take the pressure off of him when you go through an 82-game season. And then if something happens in the playoffs, you throw in the backup. But your team needs to know that that's the guy. He needs to know he's the guy. And the other team needs to know he's the guy. Because, like, Wedgwood didn't play great this playoffs, not just against the Vegas. He also got his ass handed to him by Minnesota in Game 1. It's just one of those, like, shootouts where we won the shootout. At the end of it, there's just dead bodies everywhere, and there's one Avs guy with just bullet holes like, I think I did it.
They're puking in the corner.
It's like, we did it, boys.
Oh, my God.
We won the battle.
But, yeah, to that point, who was the backup goalie for the Tampa Bay Lightning when they won the Cups?
Jonas Johansson, and I actually looked this up. Johansson was it for two of them. I can't remember who the other one was.
Point proven.
Yeah.
Yep. And then what?
I actually think it was Spencer Martin.
And then, I mean, Florida, I only know it's Spencer Knight because he took over kind of
For a little bit.
a little bit. But they still
Who was number one in the playoffs?
But they still rode Bobrovsky. And then you look at what Vegas is doing. How many goalies have they played in the postseason? One. They have their guy, and I do, and it's like what Blackwood said in his interview after the game. And I don't have the exact quote, and I don't care to look it up right now, but it was along the lines of like, yeah, it's tough when you don't play in a while. So I just went in, said, fuck it, let's play, let's do what I can and try and play my best and try to win this game. And honestly, he did. I think he did great, and I think coaching screwed up a little bit there by not maybe putting him in sooner in the series to try to spark something. But also, you can't give up a 3-goal lead and not at least get to overtime.
I mean, I want to talk a little bit more about goalies before we get into that, because it's not just Florida has a blue chip goaltender. Tampa Bay has a blue chip goaltender. Vegas has a good goaltender. The Capitals had a good goaltender that they had for a long time. The Blues, I hate saying this, but Bennington was a good goaltender.
He was, and he kicked the door down in that building and took that team to a cup.
That Stanley
There's no
Cup,
question.
yeah, that Bennington, like, so you've got, and like Quick for the Kings is a legend in LA. Like, you look at all these teams winning, and there's a reason that the last team to win a Jennings and the Stanley Cup is the Blackhawks, because that mode of play a lot of teams started gravitating towards, because it's enticing. When you look at the salary cap and you look at the roster and you're like, I could spend $1 billion on goaltending, or I can get a guy who's just like warm-blooded and can do the splits every so often, and I can get fucking Connor McDavid on the team.
Like the Blackhawks did
Yeah,
with Antti Niemi and Corey Crawford.
and Ray Emery.
Yeah, it's like, but there's a reason that's not working, because
Right.
I I forgot who I would love to give credit to the YouTuber who said this, but I watched a video years ago at this point where he pointed out that the Avalanche were mimicking the Blackhawks of the early 2010s in that, like, we just, like, the good enough mantra.
Was that me?
Because
Because I've said that quite a few times where it's like they're just basing it off of the we just need a goalie who's good enough.
Well, they
that's
won
what-
it with
yeah.
Kemper.
Well, that's we saw the Blackhawks and what they were doing, and we got rid of Varlamov. Varlamov was the last, like, true number one dog in the back of the net.
Did we traded Varlamov?
I don't remember how Varlamov. I think I was so sad I blacked it out.
I think he just walked. But
Okay. While we're talking about this, I was wrong, by the way. The backup goalie for the Tampa Bay Lightning was Curtis McElhinney.
Point even more proven.
So in 1920, McElhinney played 18 games. He went 8-7. Vasi played 52.
Oof.
In 2021, Christopher Gibson and Spencer Martin both got time. But it was Curtis McElhinney who played 12 and Vasi played 42. And then in 21-22, Vasi and Brian Elliott, Maxime Legacy, and Hugo Allenfeld. If you guys play any NHL at all, Hugo Allenfeld was the guy you got from them for like a third-round pick, and he became an elite goaltender. It was amazing. But yeah, then they had Brian Elliott for a few years. The last 3 years was Jonas Johansson. Yes.
So yeah, Varlamov signed as a free agent
Oh.
so he left in free agency.
Okay. So with the Islanders?
I have another fun thing for Alex when he makes his point here.
It's such a good point. I gotta say before I forget it. I've already forgotten it twice in this few minutes. The other thing that is really important as an Achilles heel to this team, you can play the good enough I don't like it, but you can play the good enough goaltender bullshit if you want, if the team buys into both goaltenders. The fact that the team played so fucking horribly in front of Blackwood whenever he was in net did not help the fact that we had two goaltenders that we said were equal, and we are like, okay, well, both of these guys are good. We're going to give some time, not the other. It's like Blackwood didn't play great. I'm not going to die on the hill that Blackwood was the overall number one, like, end-all, be-all. But there were a couple of games where I watched the defense just shit to bed in front of him. And then when they put Wedgwood in, all of a sudden it was like some little firecracker in their ass. And like, oh, we're going to win this game. I was like, you guys have to bring that energy for both fucking goaltenders if we're running a tandem.
They've done that for a couple seasons now with guys where, like, you can tell there's a goalie they feel way better about. Like, okay.
Last year was Blackwood over Wedgwood.
Like, Georgiev was not good.
3 or 4 Giev?
Most of the time. I'll give you that. But, like, there was a period of time where they just looked like they didn't care in front of Georgiev. And then
That's true.
And then towards the end of it, I understand because, like, if he's going to give up 4 goals on the first 6 shots he sees, you have no will to play at that point because you know you're going to have to score 7 goals to win. But then you'd bring in any other goalie and they would play lights out.
No, you guys are professional athletes. I don't care who the fuck's in the back of the net. You should play your game.
Correct. I completely agree.
I understand that there are goalies that have tendencies and weaknesses, and if you know your guy, like I guarantee you the Tampa Bay Lightning know Vasilevsky's weakness, and they're going to play a style of game or defense that minimizes that as much as possible. If he does have a weakness, who knows?
3 first-round exits would say yes.
And, like, that's just sort of the thing that you have to do, especially if you have one guy. Like, the team gets familiar with it. They understand, like, this is the way we're going to play hockey no matter what. When you've got 2 goaltenders, it's like, okay, Blackwood's bad down low, Wedgwood's bad up high. Like, we need to limit shots down low for this guy. We need to make sure we get sticks on pucks for this guy. I was like, okay, so now you're complicating an already complicated game plan. And, like, that's my main point that I think is my favorite point I've made on this podcast. Just came to me like a bolt from the blue.
No, that's great.
That you have to, if you're going to run a tandem, you have to trust both of them with everything. You cannot have a favorite goaltender because look what happens.
Right. Exactly. All right. I didn't even think about that as a reasoning, especially because if there are 2 vastly different styles, you have to adjust your play style comparatively.
Because Wedgwood's way more aggressive and he comes out of the net, whereas Blackwood plays a more structured, sound game, but you can beat him with a little bit more movement. Whereas, like, Wedgwood will take off the first shot. Like, Blackwood's better one-on-one. Blackwood's better in the system. Wedgwood's better one-on-one. If you've got, like, dangerous chances coming in, Wedgwood's going to meet that guy head on. Whereas Blackwood's more the guy of like, okay, what are the passing options? I'm going to play deeper in my net. And like those are two very different styles.
Proof of this is in Game 3 versus Game 4. The 2 breakaway opportunities in Game 3 against Eichel and Marner versus the Game 4 one against Stone. Wedgwood forced them to make the first move, and in that regard and in return, Wedgwood got beat by Stone because of the exact, or not Wedgwood, Blackwood got beat by Stone for exactly what you're saying. He as being not aggressive. One is definitely better one-on-one. One is definitely better within the system.
Which is frustrating because like our defense should be playing well in front of Blackwood. There should be this like our defense should be shut the fuck down. Blackwood's only getting shots that he sees, like Carter Hart, that he sees from a mile away. Like you shouldn't be letting in fucking breakaways and odd man rushes every other chance.
No.
Yeah.
That's bad hockey.
What does
That's
your
terrible hockey.
What is your piece of information?
What you got to say, stupid?
Well, this will be a fun one for Alex. So Varlamov, we know, started with the Capitals, right? Do you know who he replaced as the starter for brief periods of time?
Oh shit. That's the guy. Is it? No.
Olaf Kolzig?
No, that's a little. That was a little before.
Oh shit. Hold on.
It's another one of Alex's favorites.
Oh man.
Tommy Salo?
Holtby. Braden Holtby. I'm trying to think of who I know from Washington.
He also wore that jersey.
Number 1.
No,
Oh.
not the number.
Not no. Fuck. God damn it.
Who?
'Cause he was an Av too.
Just say it.
The open door. Jose Theodore.
Theodore.
Jose Theodore.
Yeah, he
I blacked that out.
he was the starter for the Capitals, and then
Oh,
Varlamov was their like rookie backup. And he came in, and apparently in the couple of playoff games that he played, he was either incredible or absolutely terrible. I was just saying that in one game he made what everybody was dubbing the save of the playoffs on a shot from Crosby, and then the next game like lost like 6-2, so Theodore took back over, and then they traded Varlamov to the Avalanche for a first-round pick.
And then we just let the Blackhawks run a train on him.
Yeah, and it was right before they, about a year before they traded him to us. He switched from number 40 to number 1, and then he went to the Islanders, and I think went back to number 40.
I only remember Theodore as a Canadian and briefly as an Av. I honestly forget anything else.
Yeah, he apparently played for the Capitals for a little while there.
Now that you say that, I vaguely remember it, but no, it was not. That did not get locked.
'Cause that was right
There's a
before-
limited. Look, I'm old now. There's a limited amount of space up here.
Yeah, that was right before Neuwirth took over, and then they were like, "Cool, we got Neuwirth. We can get rid of Varlamov now."
Who did Washington take with that pick from the Colorado Avalanche?
I don't know. Wasn't it like Philip Forsberg? And then they turned around.
I
And,
said Holtby.
and then they turned around and traded it to Nashville.
Philip Forsberg. Well done,
Aw.
Sean. Philip Forsberg was drafted in the 11th pick, with the 11th overall pick in the 2012 draft by the Washington Capitals, and then was immediately traded.
Yeah, it was pretty quick. I don't think he ever played a game for
He
the
didn't.
Capitals.
He did not play for the Capitals.
Or the Hershey Bears, who were their affiliate at the time.
No, we.
He
had
was-
the Bears.
Oh my God! He was traded for Martin Erat.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like basically 1-for-1.
Martin Erat and
essentially.
Michael Latta.
Like,
But like Martin Erat was the Nashville Predators in the early 20s.
And then Forsberg was afterwards.
Yeah, still is. He's still a pretty damn
yeah, God, that was
key factor for them right now.
Yeah, but
That
they're not
probab-
doing shit, so it's less
no,
impressive.
It's like yeah, it is. I mean, Barry Trotz
Back
is gone
like-
now.
Like
where would the
7-8
Avs
years
be if
ago.
they kept that pick?
Would Philip Forsberg be an Av?
I don't know.
That's a fun what if to play. Like,
No, it's
like
not. I hate
if we
what if. How
do
dare
we
you.
end up with the couple of picks
Go
that
fuck
we
yourself.
end up with to get Makar, McKinnon, Landeskog?
What if you?
That
go
was the
fuck
worst
yourself?
draft of all time because that was Nail Yakupov, Ryan Murray, Alex Galchenyuk, Griffin Reinhart,
The only one of the top 4 who didn't play for the Avs at any point in time.
then Morgan Riley, Hampus Lindholm, Matt Dumba.
It was like the Avs hated trading their first round pick that year so much that they were like, we're gonna go get the top 3 from this draft.
Yeah, we
here."
had like 6
Oh.
first-round picks on our team. We had
Galchenyuk
Eric
got traded
Johnson.
and then immediately went to jail.
like,
so.
that's why none of these guys stuck with the teams I got drafted by. I get it now.
Picked before Philip Forsberg, Slatter Cuckoo.
What?
For the Tampa Bay Lightning took defenseman Slatter Cuckoo, or as pronounced by Americans, Koek. And then after him was Mikhail Grigorenko, who also played for the Avalanche.
We had that guy for a minute.
Yes, we did.
He wasn't bad.
And then after him was Radek Foxa, then Seaman Zemgus Girgensons, Cody Ceci, Tom Wilson, Tomas Hurdle,
Oh, Tom Wilson.
Teuvo Teravainen, and then Andre Vasilevsky, 19th pick in the 2012 draft.
Oof. That's an uh-oh.
On a pick they got
From Detroit. Okay, that's enough about that draft. Jordan Schmaltz was also not Brady Shea, Tanner Pearson. And we took Brandon Gauntz.
Just big cat. 19.
Yeah, because our drafting sucks outside of the top 10.
Pre-Sakic, guard drafting sucked. Okay, so that leads me to the next question.
Even with Sakic, outside of the top 10, it's kind of
Yeah, that's true. So, all right. So we're gonna talk about the questions of now that we're in the off season. Caps going up, opportunities abound. We have some young talent coming in. My question is this, and this is going to be a controversial question. I don't think we'll move on from either Blackwood or Wedgwood, but
can't afford to.
well, let me spin some yarn here, my friend. There is a high possibility that one of Philip Gustafsson or Jesper Wallstedt are going to be available. I know you're trading within the division. I know it would probably be a higher price in that regard. Do you go out and get one of them as your backup and keep one or the other as your primary, that being Mackenzie Blackwood or Scott Wedgwood?
No.
I don't think so.
Hell no.
I think part of what makes Blackwood and Wedgwood good together is that they get along, that they both played in New Jersey together.
They both come from the forest.
They are the lumberyard.
We wouldn't have the lumberyard anymore. But no, I don't think you break that up next year. I think you ride Wedgwood's contract out and see what happens. Like,
'cause it's 2 years, right? After this year, like a 2-year extension.
I think so.
Okay.
But like you ride that out at least for another year. See what happens with Blackwood being healthy and getting the full training camp, getting the full preseason, getting the season started on time instead of 2 months late, and see what happens there. I think you look elsewhere for improvements or even just changes.
I agree. This is a hypothetical because it was front
How
of
dare
mind.
you?
It's tempting to do something like that. But I also think if you brought in a guy like that, you're still in the situation where you have that tandem problem, but you don't have the relationship that the two goalies have that makes it okay.
Right.
Because if Blackwood loses out to Wallstedt, they didn't start together. And now you have more of a jealousy thing playing in, I think. I don't know how goalies' minds work. They're a whole different.
Nobody does.
Yeah.
They're a whole different animal.
You're the closest thing we have to a hockey goalie in this podcast, and I don't know if you know.
Nobody does.
Okay. Thank you.
So,
Goalies are questions wrapped inside enigmas.
Wrapped inside of giant pads that make them look bigger than they really are.
They're so cute, though.
with a nice nougat in the center.
So then that leads me to my next question. Maybe both
Next
of you can answer
question.
it. Before we get to this question.
Before the next question.
Are some of the answers to the problems with this roster in our system already?
No.
Yes, I disagree on that, but yes, I think some of them
I
are.
just want to say no.
I hope so. Because I think what you do is you look at maybe shipping Nichushkin out for a bag of pucks to clear some cap space.
Russian pucks. What pucks?
Yeah, not the made in Slovakia ones.
Vodka
No.
pucks.
I do love those, though. Hell yeah, Slovakia.
I think you try to get whatever you can for him in some sort of cap clearing move, because it's going to be hard to move him, because I think he's got a no trade clause. He's also one suspension away from being shown the door. But I think you try to move him out, clear some space. Maybe you look at moving Colton.
I think you should move Colton.
And then you hope that somebody like Bardakov or Hughes can step up and fill those spots somewhat. And then hopefully moving those 2 contracts out gives you room to re-sign Jack Drury somehow and re-sign Brent Kulak. Because I think Kulak brings something good to the decor that we need, that we kind of miss a little bit when we're trying to go as Makar Malinsky style as we can.
So he's currently in. I agree with that, by the way. Sorry. Nichushkin is in a modified no trade clause. He has a 12-team no trade list right now. He had a full no move until last year, and now he's into the modified no trade.
That's right. I should have known that because that's what we were talking about, the trade deadline with Calgary. And everybody was like, Nichushkin's going to Calgary for Kadri. And I was like, well, he's got a no trade clause, and I'm sure Calgary's on it.
I'm sure all 7 Canadian teams are
I'm
on
sure Alberta is a province. It's just no.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to.
Absolutely not.
No.
It's cold.
Oh, yeah. They're in Winnipeg. No, I'm
It's
good.
too much like Russia. Makes
I
me
agree.
Miss home.
I agree with Colton, and if you can get half of the production you've gotten from TJ Hughes in this postseason for the Eagles, you're going to get a guy who will be a solid bottom 6 forward for the team who can fill in that bottom role. Truthfully, I think one player who has proven to be indispensable for that bottom 6, besides Parker Kelly, obviously because he's Parker fucking Kelly, is Jack Drury. You can't. I hate to say it, but unless you get something decent for him, you're losing a face-off guy, a grit guy, and a penalty killer.
God, that shorthanded goal he had, that was like the bright moment of that series.
Yes.
That was so beautiful.
It was awesome.
And then you shat it away like McKinnon's hat trick against St. Louis.
I was there for that one. Oh God. But I'm saying like that's a kind of a guy that you want to keep on this roster.
No,
I think
agree.
Jack
I think
Jack Drury is a guy you keep. You move on from a guy like Ross Colton.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree.
I'm biased to names. I love the name Jack. That's just.
Well, you
That
did
just-
make a Titanic reference earlier, so
Oh, I'm
Jack
not- I'm
Jack should
Jack-
have been on the boat or on the door.
I'm not done with the Titanic references.
You just wait.
Don't you dare. But yeah, I really do like Jack Drury, and to be honest with you, I think one of the darkest moments in Avs history is trading his uncle away.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Who might be fired in New York at the end of this stretch.
well, we've said it before on this podcast. Playing skill does not translate to upper management.
See Wayne Gretzky. See Steve Yzerman.
The Yzer plan is not working.
No, it's not. Which leads me to my final biggest question.
Final question.
And the one
That's the lightning round.
and the one that we've talked about.
We answer this right, we're millionaires.
How long of a leash
Mike said it.
do we give Jared Bednar
Well,
now?
snippet is done.
Because so
Yank that puppy.
he is the winningest coach in Avs history because he's the longest tenured coach in Avs history, which is fair.
I made
yeah,
that
it's-
point. I made that. I'm a
Yeah.
smarty pants. My pants are
it's-
so fucking smart.
I mean, it's really not hard to be the longest tenured coach here when you've had guys like Bob Hartley and Mark Crawford. Yeah.
Yeah. And Joe Sacco.
Who I don't dark
Let's
days.
see.
Dark days.
So Crawford, Hartley, Quinville, Sacco,
Granado.
Granado,
Twice.
Waugh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Granado split Sacco's
Yeah.
Tenure, I
no,
think.
no, Wall was right after Sacco. I think Granado split
I
Quinville?
think he split Quinville.
and then Bednar.
Because it was like, because wasn't it something weird where it was like Granado and then he became an assistant to Quinville and then Quinville left and Granado got promoted again or some weird thing like that.
Yeah, now Granado's in fucking Minnesota.
The unfortunate thing is like I think Quinville would be a great coach for this team now. He just at the time he was not the coach that the team needed. It was one of those stupid.
He wasn't the hero we deserved.
It was one of those
or
stupid
needed.
Batman things.
Guys, we won the $1 million. We named all of them.
Well, you're paying us $1 million.
I don't have $1 million.
Hey,
So
That's what we were saying.
So okay, so
Anyway.
Bednar's record in the postseason, in 101 games, he is 60-41, which is not terrible initially if you think about it, but
There's always a but.
so 16-17, that was a tragic year, bad year. We all know what happened there. Don't need to talk about it.
I'm
Since-
traumatized.
Since the playoff stretch, they have finished, and this is division finishes. So since 17-18, they have been 4th, 5th, 2nd, 1st, 3rd, and 1st. in that time frame, they've had a first-round exit in 17-18 against Nashville in 6 games. 18-19, second-round exit against San Jose in 7 games. 19-20, second-round exit in 7 games to the Stars. That was the COVID bubble. 20-21 in 6 games in the second round to Vegas.
Yeah.
And 21-22, they won the Cup. 22-23, first round in 7 to Seattle. That was when Nuke went MIA for whatever reason. We're not going to get into it. 23-24, second round exit in 6 to Dallas. That was the Duchesne OT series. In 24-25, in the first round, 7 games to Dallas. That was Rantanen's hat trick. And then this year, made it to the conference finals and got swept by Vegas. To put that into context, the last President's Trophy with this much hype behind it was that Boston Bruins team that was swept by the eventual Stanley Cup losers. Or not swept. They lost in 7 to Florida.
No, it was Tampa who was a President's Trophy winner that got swept in the first round by Columbus. Who was also coached by John Tortorella.
Oh, my God.
That man just has a bounty on us. Shit.
He's got a bounty out for President's
President's
Trophy
Trophy
winners.
He should just have like a wall of President's Trophies he ruined.
I'm sure there's more if I look deep
You know
enough,
what?
but I don't
Give
really want
him
to.
the President's Trophies that he beat.
Just name it the Tortorella.
Yeah. Shit. As
That's
much
what
as
it
I
is.
hate that guy, he's a damn good coach.
It's not the President's Trophy curse so much as it's the Tortorella curse. He's coming for you. He's like the sleep paralysis demon of the teams that win the President's Trophy.
So I'm going to pose this question, and this is a soccer question.
No, you said final question. You don't
No,
get another
I'm
question.
posing this
You
as
said that's what the word final means.
it's a follow-up.
It's the final countdown. That's all we can do.
Yeah, before we get sued by Europe.
Change it up a little bit.
But
Parody law.
so the question I
My
have,
life's a parody.
and this is a soccer reference.
As an Avs fan, it feels like it.
You fire your head coach. You send him to pasture. You clear out the staff.
Come here, boy.
Who is out there that's better? Who do you go get? What do you do to answer?
You said
that
this
question.
before.
Pierre
and-
Laliette.
Yeah, but I'm posing it here.
Yeah, but no,
for
that's
the
why because I've
audience.
thought about it, and my one take on that is just because you don't have a solution to a problem doesn't mean you can't say that there is a problem. And I understand that for most sports fans, every time they don't win their championship, it's fire fucking everybody. But I have been on the Bednar might not be the answer train for quite some time, and so this isn't Chicken Little, the sky is falling. I do think Bednar is not the answer. I don't know who the answer is. That's Sakic's job. And McNair is McNair, right?
McFarlane.
The toy company. Like that's their job to solve that. Me as a normie, as a casual, I look at this as team like it's not working. There is a fatal flaw in this team. You cannot get kicked out of the second round as many times as we had. You cannot follow a cup victory with getting kicked out the first round by a brand new fucking expansion team. You can't go into the third period of Game 7 up 2-0 and lose in regulation. You can't have a 3-goal lead in the Western Conference Final evaporate and not take that game to overtime. You can't have the worst power play in the league for most of the season and the last season going into the playoffs this season and not make any changes. Like, these are all heavy structural problems. Once the iceberg hit the Titanic, it was over. Once you lost 7 of the bulkheads, there was no saving the ship. And like when I said I wanted to make this point again because I liked it, on our little green room table, it wasn't just the builders in Belfast's fault. I had to do this in like AP World History. We had to assign blame on why the Titanic sunk. But like, it wasn't just the manufacturers in Belfast. It wasn't just the captain of the Titanic. It wasn't just the media who was pressuring them to get across the Atlantic the fastest. And it wasn't the Royal Star, I think it's the White Line.
Yes.
It's not their fault for not having enough lifeboats. It's like every single facet worked in detriment of that ship staying afloat. And so I would say the coaching led to this problem. Our star players disappearing in crucial moments led to this problem. Our depth, unfortunately, couldn't save us. Like it did like the lifeboats. It saved as many people as it could. There just
It-
wasn't enough of it.
It did as good of a job as it could with the situation it was in.
Yeah,
Right.
our goaltending let us down when it needed to stymie the water flow. But I do point at Bednar as the longest enduring issue.
Well, the interesting thing to go off that, and I think EJ said this in with the Spit and Chicklets podcast he was on. The Avs have already tried the shake the core up thing. They traded Rantanen. The Avs have tried the revamp your entire goaltending tandem. They traded Girard. They hired new coaching, a new assistant coach. So, and even EJ was like, Bednar is like one of the best coaches I've ever had, but like at a certain point, you've tried all of the bigger things. Like it might not be that Bednar's a bad coach, but has he run his course with this team? And is it at a point now where he's like one of the boys and they don't see him as that authority figure anymore? Do you need to try to find someone to come in and shake things up a little bit and be the asshole that they need the coach to be?
Be the asshole we deserve.
And like ride him a little harder, because sometimes it seems like it's gotten to the point where like I still think that the team, I don't think Bednar's lost the room at all. I don't think that's the problem. I think more of the problem might be the fact that he's become too much a part of the room to an extent.
So you're saying the message hasn't gotten stale, but he's not the leader anymore. He is part of the group.
Instead of him
so.
coming in the locker room saying, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" He comes in the locker room and goes, "Ah, shucks, boys. We just
Yeah,
don't
and-
have it tonight."
And I mean, I feel like in some of the post game interviews from Game 4, where like you had Taves basically saying, "Oh well, we played pretty well. We just didn't have any bounces going our way, and you know we played a tough, hard series." Like, okay, shut the hell up, dude.
Okay,
like,
silver medalist.
you all played very poorly, and and then you have
You
someone
all
like
sucked.
you have someone like O'Connor who's like, we let everybody down.
Oh,
Nobody in this room
Poor
played to their
guy.
potential. We all screwed up. We didn't do what we needed to do. Can we please put an A on his jersey?
Oh my God, yes!
Because
in a heartbeat.
holy shit. You know what else we're missing? We need a Cogliano
Oh,
to come in and give that speech to be like, hey,
What
here's
the
what we
fuck
need
are
to
we
do,
doing?
and then come out and just dominate the next game. I think we were missing that.
And that then goes back to the concept of what we thought was the big plus of this team this year, which was depth and the opportunity that the depth brought us and the chances we had. Because bringing in Kadri was supposed to fix the center depth problem that didn't fucking happen. And it, the nostalgia is great. And this is the other thing. Again, we fell short. Not as short as we did when we brought back Soderbergh. And shit like that, and fucking Nemeth. It's not the same vein as that, but it felt that way. And I said that when we did it. It's like, ooh, it feels nice and squishy and happy and everything, and it's going to be a nice addition to the team for a little morale boost, but I didn't feel like it gave us really what we needed. And I get frustrated with the fact that, like, I agree that Bednar is part of the problem, but I'd be curious to see if you give him 10 games next year, give him a window next year to see if he can fix any of the fucking issues that are showing up. And if he doesn't, you pull him. You pull the plug. And I'm okay saying that, but I don't think you do it now. I think you do it at a point next year if things don't seem to improve, especially in the same pain points as you brought up, Alex, in the power play, in the lack of killer instinct, in the situational problems that have led. And I agree with you, Jean, that we have tried everything. Like EJ's mentioned, we tried everything, but it feels like there's still something missing. And if it is Bednar, then we need to move on. And I don't know what the answer is.
It's interesting to me because as good as the Avs are in the regular season, I think if you don't make the change in the offseason, you might run into the same issue where the team does so good in the regular season that it might hide issues.
it hit the power play all
But
year.
at the very least, please fire Haxtell.
Yeah, I mean, Dave Haxtell needs to go. He
I'm
was
sorry, he
useless in
should've-
Seattle anyway.
Like, please fire Haxtell. And like, there's
that man ever finds a job doing this again, I am never
there's-
gonna have imposter syndrome.
there's
ever again.
something.
Holy
there
fucking
is-
shit! Yeah, I could be the power play coach.
But like, there's also something to be said where like, okay, so your head coach generally doesn't do anything with the power play or defense or whatever. Those are what your assistant coaches are for. But at what point do you, as the head coach, step in and go, "Hey, bro,
When you're 32nd in the league, maybe.
I'm taking over"? And like, obviously, we don't know if Bednar did that.
No,
We don't know if Bednar, if Haxtell was trying to change something and Bednar stepped in and said, "Hey, no, don't do that. Keep it the way it is. This is how we want it."
We
but
got
for
him
the-
right where we want him.
But for the love of God, get rid of Haxtell. It can't hurt. You cannot, statistically, you probably cannot be any worse than they were this year.
No.
Just
Like,
you wait till
they were-
next year, buddy.
They were almost goddamn dead last the entire year.
Oh, I know.
You
What are
can't
we
be
talking
worse.
about?
You
Okay.
can't be worse than last. And the only reason they didn't. I think the only reason they didn't finish last is because of the little bump they got from Kadri right after the trade deadline, and after the Olympics, where they had everybody went off to their country and had the power play summit of Milan, Italy, and came back and somehow figured out how to play on the power play for a month and a half, and then
just died.
and then Haxtell got back at him.
It's like, oh, what is this success? You scoring goals? Fuck that.
So
pass.
Lose the opening faceoff.
so next year we have 2 fourths, 2 fifths, 4 sevenths. No first, no second, no third, no sixth.
I mean, like the sort of good thing, depending on how you want to look at it, is most of the team is signed through next year.
Right. I'm looking at so Lehkonen is 26, 27. Lekkonen's coming up as an RFA in 27, 28. You have Watt and Colton locked up through 26, 27. So 26, 27. Drury is an RFA. Bardakov is an RFA. Kiviranta is your only UFA on the
Fuck
on the
that guy.
forward group.
There was somebody that
Yeah,
said
I'm
something.
with you on that, Alex.
There was somebody that said something, and I can't remember where I saw it. But they were like, you need to bring in a head coach that will hold players accountable and hold more of the players accountable and not blame everything on Bardakov.
Right.
Because it really feels like, and that's like one of the things that drives me nuts about Bednar is that he will like key on a guy and just won't have a chance. And it kind of kills me a little bit with like Bardakov because like, okay, he made some stupid mistakes, but
So did McKinnon.
so does McKinnon,
So
does
does
Kadri,
Taves.
so does Taves.
So does McCarr.
Like I know that they've established themselves in the league and they're incredible players, but if you're gonna take a guy like Bardakov who maybe takes 2 stupid penalties in a game, okay, what about Nate just taking 2 stupid penalties on the same play?
So
I've
that-
never seen that happen.
Like, I mean, that was really weird that they called both of them because that usually never
Yeah,
happens.
I've only
But
never
that
seen it
was
happen.
that was the first time I've seen it happen, and it turned into a 4-minute power play,
I thought
which
it
led to a
was-
goal.
Yeah.
I just don't understand because like
No,
you see stuff like
We
that.
killed the first half, and they scored on the second.
It's like you see stuff like that all the time.
I think we scored on one of those. 'Cause
Did they take away? That's right. They took
got-
away
yeah,
Dorfiev's because he hit it off. By the way, PK Subban, who on the Avalanche fucked your wife? Like, what the hell, man? Calm down. God, you hate us so much
He does. He really does.
for no fucking
I don't
reason.
understand why.
When he was on the Canadians, I remember being at the game where he just fucking basically assaulted Barry behind the net. It was just mean. I saw it happen. I was like, oh, I felt that one.
Oh, the one where he like danced him or like physically?
I
was
think he
beating the-
physically destroyed him.
Because
I
God,
mean,
who
It was an overtime goal.
was
you know
it?
what I'm talking about,
Because
right?
was it Subban who danced him and
I think it
like
was Subban who
just
just.
absolutely obliterated his ankles and then scored
Yeah,
on him?
it's like
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah,
So he's hated us for a long time.
correct.
Oh.
To get back to the Avs real quick, sorry, just to point these out. So here are the 4 defensemen who are UFAs. Which of these do you bring back, if any?
Okay, we'll go one by one here.
Burns.
No.
No, I unfortunately no.
I love him. I love Burns, but
He had a good
got
like
rocked.
he had a
I
good
agree.
like 3/4 of a season and then
He's
yeah.
not because
He's 41.
the Dangle podcast mentioned it and said a good thing is like when you've got special players on your team like McKinnon and McCarr, you don't have the money to really kind of go for depth, so you grab guys like Burns, and he just got
I think
destroyed, especially because McCarr was probably hurt most of this playoffs and McKinnon got hurt last 2 games.
McCarr got hurt by Klapka being a fucking dick. and he was not the same since then. I blame Adam Klapka and the Calgary Flames for it's the EJ against Nashville at the end of the season all over again.
Yeah, so
that's fair.
So I like Burns. I love Burns, and he had a great season.
I would love to bring Burns back if he wasn't chasing down the Ironman record and he could be the 7th defenseman.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's another thing that Dangle brought up was like
But
he's played too much hockey.
you're
There's
not-
no load control anymore because he's playing too much.
Yeah, and you're not gonna bench him. You're not gonna.
They're not gonna ruin that for him.
He needs to go somewhere like Chicago, where he can get minutes
Yeah.
and get the record and play 7 to 8 minutes a night. And
Which-
you
Do you
know,
want a
or
record?
no, he should go back to Minnesota, where he doesn't ever. If they re-sign Quinn Hughes, he'll never have to play more than 3 minutes a night because
Yeah.
Hughes will play the
no,
remaining
that's-
53.
Yeah, and it's tough because I would love to bring him back. I think he brings a lot to the room.
Yeah.
I think he's great for the team.
Is he
But you-
chasing? If I were gonna bring him back, I'd sit him down and be like, "Are you chasing a record or are you chasing a cup? Because if you want the cup, you're not gonna get the record.
Yeah, if you want
We
the
are
cup,
gonna bench you.
if you
Yes.
want the cup, you're the 7th D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's I think if they have that conversation, he agrees that the record
That's
isn't
a
as
tentative.
important. Then yeah.
he-
Okay, I'm gonna skip the next one. I'm gonna go to the other two. Jack Ashawn.
I think.
I think you sign him to an AHL contract, and if you need him, you call him.
Yeah, I think you keep him for some sort of depth. Just, I mean, you need it.
Orlock doesn't agree.
Like you could use it, but I really don't want to see him get too much NHL time.
Okay, Alex.
I vote present on this one.
Blankenberg.
I would love to bring him back. If you could only bring back Blankenberg or Sean, I'd bring back Blankenberg.
That's hard to say. Fast.
If you can only bring back one, you have to bring back Blankenberg.
But I think
You sound like you're Scandinavian.
I don't think Blankenberg comes back. Even if we offer him something, I don't think he comes back
Because he wants to play more minutes.
because I think he's looking for more of an NHL career as
But his
opposed
mom
to
already found a hairstylist.
as opposed to up and down. I know.
Does your wife do his mom's hair?
Yeah.
Nice.
We're in.
Okay, and the one I think we can probably all agree on
Get rid of him. Fire him. Fuck him.
is Brett Kulak.
Okay. Yes. Keep him.
Bring him back
Bring him back.
if you have the
Bring him
room
back.
for him. Cap wise, absolutely bring him back. You need to try to make cap room to bring him back.
We need a defenseman.
Correct. So, because right now we only have 4 defensemen under contract for next year on the NHL roster, which is Manson, Malinsky, Taves, and Makar. And because Malinsky's extension kicks in next year,
Yeah, you have got to try to make room to bring Kulak back.
I agree, and I think that's something I would say he ended up being a lot more effective than I expected him to be. So if you think about it, there's 5 players on the main roster that are UFAs. Of those, you bring back Kulak for sure, Burns if he's willing to be the 7th D, and then of Blankenberg and Ashawn, you bring back Blankenberg, and then we let Kiviranto walk.
Yeah,
I'm surprised we re-signed Kiviranto to begin with, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think you gotta.
I still hold that hat trick against him, fucker.
I don't
Yeah,
blame
you
you.
did that against us, and they couldn't pull it off
Dude,
with
yeah,
us.
You've had 2 opportunities to do it against Dallas, and you haven't done shit.
Yeah, that
How
was-
much of Kadri's contract is retained, and was it only for this season?
No, it was like 20% or something like that. I think.
Boo.
So we're only paying him.
Yeah, 20% of the original contract
So we're
retained
only paying him 5-ish.
Oh my god.
for the next 3 years, though.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things that you think about.
I
and
love
it's
I
like,
love
is-
having a guy permanently on the roster who's going to get kicked out of every faceoff he takes. He
Well,
probably
this-
takes like 30% of the faceoffs he's lined up for.
It's kind of frustrating to think about because like we're getting towards the end of the window, and it's one of those things where like with Makar and McKinnon, your window is like ever so slightly always.
It's like
gonna
the
be-
Penguins with
it's
Crosby.
gonna
It was
be-
always there.
It's gonna be open a little bit. It's like Edmonton with McDavid. It's there. It's not totally sealed shut, but like you're getting to a point where you're getting
It's just shut on your fingers. We're like,
your hand is crushed under the window from trying to hold it open a little
That
bit.
hurt.
His buyout's only $2.3 million. Just saying. I don't think we should, but it's an option.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think that's where you you ship out Nichushkin for whatever the hell you can get for him. You try to trade Colton for some draft capital
What other damaged Russian do we want?
to clear some space. Well, I mean, we have Gulyayev, who apparently only wants to play NHL minutes.
Interesting.
So it'll be interesting to see if he actually reports to the Eagles or not.
Similar to Kovalenko.
Yeah.
God, I love Russians.
And then you have Nabokov coming up through the system.
Lolita?
Ilya Nabokov.
Hopefully our next great Russian goaltender.
Yeah, because we have Nabokov, and then Miner has been playing out of his fucking mind in the the AHL playoffs. They're in the conference finals as well
For the first time.
for the first time ever. And they're playing the Chicago Wolves.
Nabokov wrote Lolita.
Oh God, why can't I think of his first name?
I can't either. I just know it's
Yeah.
Nabokov. It's like Mikhail Nabokov or something.
One of the most the film versions of that book is very weird.
Never seen it.
Yeah,
I just
don't
know-
recommend it.
I love Russian literature. We need to find a guy named Dostoevsky for the team.
Ooh, or Tolstoy.
That's too much. Too much word. Too many words.
Too much.
Why use many words when few words?
Too far.
I like Tolstoy. I like Bulgakov. I like
Okay, so going into next season,
Dostoevsky.
we add Dostoevsky, Goligov, Nabokov, and Tolstoy to the roster.
only if you can afford him, though.
Only if you can afford it, right?
They're Russian. They're sad and poor.
So we go into next season. Say Bednar gets fired tomorrow.
Bye.
Then
you,
they
bye.
have to go find a coach. I hate to mention this name just because he brings in pain in every direction for Colorado Avs fans. But Sean, you mentioned this name. What happens if, say, like we fire Bednar and we bring in a guy like Peter DeBoer?
I honestly do not think that would be a bad thing for, like, try it for a year and see what happens. Because for whatever reason, DeBoer has the Avs number. So does he, by way of knowing what we lack, have the ability to fix it?
That's a very good question. I don't know.
And that's why I bring up DeBoer, because he's never lost a Game 7 that he's been in.
That's true, but he's never won a cup. Which, I mean, that doesn't mean anything. There are a lot of great coaches have never won cups.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, like, is it a fit thing? Is him not ever winning a cup come down to the amount of energy he put into beating the Avs?
Or the personnel.
So, like, I don't know. I'd like to see it for a year. Let's see if maybe he knows what's wrong with the Avs and can fix the problem. And you know what? If you're going to do that, fire the whole coaching staff and let whoever you bring in as a head coach hire his own staff.
Oh, I agree. I don't think anybody should stay.
Which I think they did with Bednar.
Yeah.
I think Bednar got to at least have a say.
After 16, 17.
Yeah, but like,
But
I
when he
don't know.
brought in his own staff is when they
I
took
would
off.
like to see that happen, just to see what happens.
I agree.
I mean, look, it can't be much more disappointing than getting swept in the Western Conference Finals by Las Vegas.
What do you think?
The VGK.
God, I hate that so fucking much.
Vegas Golden Knights.
I want to reel it back a bit because I have another thought.
Okay.
That just popped in my little brain. Do you think Bob Hartley should have been given more of a chance? Or do you agree with his firing?
Ooh.
You
Let's
know,
take a look here.
He got fired, I think, after 2003 or 2. So he was a cup champion.
right before the lockout.
Pierre Lacroix let him go because the Avalanche were dipping. And he went on to, I think he led the Flames to like 4 conference finals. He won Coach of the Year.
And then got fired because Coach of the Year is a curse.
True.
So we were his first franchise that he was a head coach for.
99.
98, 99. Won the cup in 01, 02, and then was
And immediately
fired. He did not go to Calgary. He went to Atlanta. He became the head coach of the Atlanta Thrashers in 02, 03.
But I was saying,
It's tough
Did
in
he because
that-
like 02, 03 is right after.
He was 1 month after being fired by the Avalanche. Hartley was appointed as the second full-time head coach of the Atlanta Thrashers, who were looking for a replacement after their original coach, Kurt Frazier, was fired following an 8-24-1 season.
Now
A
that's
start to the 2003 season.
Those are video game numbers when you play on fucking veteran for the first time.
That is impressively bad.
You're like, this game's not fun anymore.
But I don't know. I think it makes a little bit of sense in the era that it was, because you could just at that point you could just throw money at people.
But that's what I'm saying. I just think like we've given Bednar a pretty long fucking leash, and we haven't given that to anybody else.
No.
And we have 2 cup-winning coaches in our past.
Right.
But it is
Who
interesting.
got like Crawford? I think decided to leave.
Yeah, Crawford chose to leave because he got a fucking payday from Vancouver.
Yeah, but it's like okay, so we lost him, and then we got rid of Hartley after not nearly as much failure as Bednar has gone through.
I mean, I wonder, like, if at the time, because I mean, obviously it's different GMs. I wonder if at the time Lacroix was thinking like, this team, anybody should be able to coach this quality of a team to a cup.
Fucking should have.
So I wonder if that was part of it, or it was like, okay, bro, you didn't. I gave you a couple of years, you won the cup, and then you stopped.
Yeah, but that could be your argument now. Is like
But-
you look at the Avalanche, you're like anybody can coach this team to a Stanley Cup win, or at least fucking overtime. Jesus Christ!
He got fired partway through the 2002-03 season. 31 games in, they were 10-8-9-4. So
That's so
after
weird when there were ties.
after finishing first in losing to Detroit in the conference finals in 01-02 to start the next year losing
Do you know what that goal was?
I don't, not off the top of
Was
my
it-
head.
Statue of
What I was
Liberty.
gonna say, was it the?
Oh.
But he didn't have the puck in his glove.
He didn't. He
Oh
didn't
my
have
God.
it.
So that's 21 losses out of, or sorry, not 21 losses. You had essentially 21 non-wins because it's ties and overtime losses. So 12 losses, 9 overtime ties. I can't talk.
Overtime
but that's why
ties.
that's why he was fired. And then
And
he came back to Calgary in 12-13.
And then we began the coaching carousel that we're now experiencing with our second line center.
Yeah, he's coaching the KHL now. Hartley is.
Ugh.
Yeah, Locomotive or something.
Yes.
That's gotta be rough.
Yeah, Locomotive.
That's not
Why do
speak
I know that?
any right.
I don't know. Why do you know that?
Because you're a genius.
Just pull that out of your butt and you're like, oh, look.
Ken Klee coaches one of the PWHL teams.
Yes, he does.
I can't remember if that was it. God, is it?
Was it Ottawa?
I think it was Ottawa.
I just all this to say is I am
Anyway.
firmly off the Bednar train. And again, I want to say this is not because of the like sky is falling. This isn't a reaction feeling. I've been iffy on Bednar for some time. Before we won the cup, I was extremely iffy on him. After we won the cup, there was that little honeymoon period, and like I could even argue that my wanting to keep Bednar was a knee-jerk reaction, whereas like more often than not, I've wanted to be done with him.
Yeah,
And
I
again,
can
I
vouch for
don't
that.
dislike the guy. I like great coach, brought us a cup. I'll always remember that. It's just it's the same thing I have with Hartley and Crawford. Is like you guys had teams. We should have 4 or 5 cups as the Avalanche. The 1998 Avalanche were built like a fucking tank. The 97, 98 Avalanche were nuts. The 2002 Avalanche were nuts.
It sucks so bad that the early Avs teams had the monster Detroit team to deal with.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think
Federal.
I feel like if we didn't have to go through that Detroit team, maybe we'd have more. Like, if Detroit was in the East at that point, I could see us getting to the Stanley Cup final against Detroit and beating them there.
Yes.
But for whatever reason,
Physically and mentally.
But for whatever reason, being in the same conference and running into them as much as we did, I think is why, honestly, probably both teams don't have more cups.
Well, yeah, because
I
I think our record's 3-3 against each other.
Yeah.
Yes. To make one point,
Just one.
Bednar's contract ends at the end of this year.
Yeah, well, that's tough because again, the window's closed. The window's on our fingers, man.
Go
But
hire
here's the
Bruce
thing.
Cassidy. Don't interview him. Just hand him a contract.
Just slide it under the table.
Yeah, don't even interview him. Just sign him.
But my thing is this. That's why I think that they are kind of holding I think they'll hold Station, lock it in, keep him on as the head coach for one more year. If it's another year of failure, they let him go. Because I think they're learning from what the Nuggets did. And that's the difference is, though, is Mike Malone lost the locker room. No, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I don't care if you think that David Adelman looks like the dude from the Mad Magazine situations. I don't give a fuck if you think that he is a terrible head coach. That dude had to deal with more man games lost than any other team in the fucking league this year with their starting five. They had, in 82 games, I think they had somewhere in the line of like 40 different starting lineups
What is
because
it with
of
Colorado
injuries.
teams in massive injuries like that?
I have no idea, and it's annoying as shit. But you can't sit here and say that the situation could be fixed if we just fire Jared Bednar. But to Alex's point, where I agree, is he's had the longest leash of any coach, opportunity-wise. To make your point, Bob Hartley lost 3 conference finals and won 1 Stanley Cup in his tenure with the Avalanche.
Yeah, but he never got swept, did he? In
In
the conference final.
I don't believe he
That
did.
was like Game 7 against Detroit.
In the conference final,
And then he lost
no.
2 against Dallas in the conference final. And I agree. And it's the same conversation we had about John Cooper. John Cooper has had 3 straight first-round exits. Should he be on the hot seat? The difference is that he won
3.
2 out of 3
Stanley
cups.
Cup. Yeah,
that's losing your captain to free agency. This year, not having Victor Hedman, your captain, in that regard, and running out Ryan McDonough, who's got to be 112.
There was some things I saw where it was like, but what if we just like swap with Tampa?
Just
Swap Bednar and Cooper.
Oh God.
hey, fuck it, because like I would push back on the idea that fixing your coach doesn't fix all the problems, because that's exactly what Vegas did. They switched their coach and they've been on a tear ever since. Maybe we wait until like there's 2 weeks left in the season to fire Bednar, because whatever the fuck Tortorella is doing in Vegas, it is working right now.
But here's the other thing about that though. They also got William Karlsson back. They also got Mark Stone back. They also got
Mark
Shea
Stone
Theodore
back
back
now.
and they got Carter Hart back.
Yeah, I agree with all those things, but it's still you can't just look at the numbers and say like Tortorella starts here, they are like 14-2.
It's like the extreme pulling your goalie bump. When you pull a goalie to spark your team,
Yeah.
like that's kind of what and like honestly, it kind of seems like New Jersey tried the same thing and just didn't do it as well.
And the new coach bounce is a thing. I mean, it's a legitimate
Yeah, let's
policy,
just
unless
wait
you're-
until there's 2 weeks left in the season.
unless you're Tottenham Hotspur. Fuck you. Thank you for not getting relegated. It's an easy 6 points next year. It's soccer reference. Don't worry about it.
References you referred to.
I love your lip smackers and your lack of perfume. I'll
I'll
get you home by
curfew. Word up. Yeah, come on. Come on. If you don't know what that reference is, look it up.
That's actually our second MC Chris
Yes, it is.
reference this episode.
Hey.
Hey. But I'm referencing
I like candy, bubblegum and taffy.
I'm referencing the Premier League champion Arsenal, who did win, and that's another reference though. Sorry, I know it's a different sport, but it's the same concept. They stuck with their coach. They stuck with their manager. They helped build a team around him, and they won. It took them 6 years, but they did it, and they've won the champion. They won the championship. They have a chance to do something that the franchise has never done, which is win a European trophy on Saturday. But they stuck with
Never
it.
won a trophy on Saturday. That's weird.
They've never
Well,
won a European trophy. They've
so
never
if-
won the Champions
I
League.
know.
So
It
if
was
you look
funny.
But it's the same ownership.
Yeah, but if you look at what's happened with Bednar, they did that when he came in, and they had that atrocious season.
The worst season
They
in
gave him
Avalanche
1,
history.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6
Six.
seasons to win the cup.
Right.
They built the team around Bednar. They gave him the players that he wanted. They built it. They stuck with him. He won the cup, and he's kind of plateaued.
But the problem
So-
is this. This is the problem right here. The placements of where they're finishing. If they've stalled out,
Well, and that's
that's the hard part. That's the difficult part. Is the like you said, the regular season mentality of being regular season monsters.
Well, and that's the argument that I was making earlier when you were saying about giving Bednar 10, 15, 20 games of the season. They're great in the regular season.
Kind of like what they did to Hartley. That's weird. I just put that together. That's weird. Yeah.
So like,
okay.
so
okay.
like I would generally like agree, like, give him a little bit, but they've already given him super long leash. And I feel like if you give him into the regular season, there might be enough success that you once again see a first, second round exit in the playoffs.
Do you think the hesitation, though, comes from the fact that his contract ends at the end of this year?
I mean, maybe a little bit, but I still think that, like, with what EJ brought up with his thing on spit and chicklets, like, you've traded the core member, you've hired a different coaching staff underneath him, you've brought in all these different players, you traded Gerard. What else do you do outside of a coaching change? Because, I mean, it's the same thing like you look at in Toronto. I mean, they seemed afraid for so long of changing the core and did the coaching carousel, which obviously didn't work.
Yeah, Berube fucked that team up hard.
So, like, I don't know. It's tough, but I think personally you need to go into the regular season with a new coach, but you need to do it soon so you don't give the new coach the same problem Bednar had in his first season here, where it's like, okay, cool, here I am, here's my game plan, good luck.
True. Did you have a point?
Yeah. This might not. I can try and tie it together. It might take some work. But I remember we were texting before we were going to do this episode, and there's something that I wanted to bring up on this episode. It's this idea that, like, as sports fans, we do kind of get emotionally invested into these guys, as we don't do with other things. Like, when you watch a movie, one of my favorite actors is Denzel Washington, and there are some movies I just cannot watch because it's just either he's doing horrible in it or, like, the writing's horrible, but it's just like I can separate that from, like, I still like him as an actor. This just wasn't the role for him. And with the Avalanche, it's hard to do that because it's like they wear your colors. Like, I see maroon and blue, even in if it's not associated with hockey or the Avs, I'm like, it's fucking Avs. And, like, the team name is your home state. Like, Colorado's on the banner. You're like, that's my home, baby. And so you get more emotionally attached than you should. Whereas at the end of the day, this is a product that we are purchasing. This is an entertainment product, just like a video game, just like a comic book, just like a movie. And the Avs as an organization are failing on that level. Like, again, nobody deserves the Stanley Cup. I'm not going to sit here and say, like, oh, we deserve the Stanley Cup this year. We're the best team in the league. It wasn't fair. But as fans, we do deserve some fucking compete from these guys. Yeah. We deserve to have the reputation of, if they're leading in the third period, the game's fucked. Or multiple goal leads are safe. Or Game 7s aren't just a gimme for the other team, or that every other former team member is not going to fucking murder us every opportunity they get. Like,
or Colton Sissons.
Like, curse of the former Avs.
Like, these are, and that's where like my other thought on Bednar is, I think if we get rid of him, I will root for him wherever he goes, as long as it's not Dallas. Like, I hope him success. He is not the right fit. The Avs have failed more than they've succeeded. And watching Shannon, the hockey guy, today, he was kind of saying, like, looking at the Avs record, like, well, the cup wasn't a fluke, but there's something wrong with this team. And, like, I might lean the other way. Maybe the cup was the fluke. Maybe that was just the stars aligning in the right moment.
What a good fluke.
We were playing a Florida team that had played way too much hockey. If we had come up against the Panthers a year later, we're fucked. If we had come up against the Tampa Bay Lightning a year before, I think we're fucked. And so I just don't think, like, that's it. I just don't think Bednar's it. I don't think the Avs are an entertaining product right now. And they're going to raise prices again, which is just always so fun. Because they're like, look, we disappointed you again. Would you like to pay us more money to do it again?
Do you want to, like, should we, like, guess what Toronto's going to raise prices to since they got the first pick in the draft this year?
And that's like,
what's that going to go up by, like, 50%?
And it's like with Mitch Marner in Toronto, like, I'm not a Toronto fan, so I can't imagine it. But, like, it's at one point you got to be happy to see him succeeding. And, like, with Bednar, I don't think he'll be unsuccessful somewhere else. Like Sean pointed out, and we knew when we got Bednar, he succeeded at every level of hockey he's been at. He's won a championship with every team.
Correct.
I just think it's time for him to coach another team.
Yeah, and that's what I've been saying. I think he's run his course. I don't think we're firing him because he's terrible.
Yeah, it's just something's missing.
I just think he's run his course, and maybe the team isn't listening to him as much as they were originally.
I agree to an extent because I think that
he agrees. Clip it. We're done.
And
I clip these, so yes.
if I stop the recording here, there's nothing for you to add past this.
John, shut the laptop.
Okay, let me buy.
Okay, let me bye.
But no, I agree to the extent that I think if his voice has gotten stale, or not stale, if he's just not the right fit, then we move on. My concern is and this is probably way outside of the mark because, as you've both pointed out, he's had a long time. I just don't want it to be because they got swept in this round, it's a knee-jerk reaction to fire him and then they just hire somebody. That's the concern I would run into with the regard of like a fucking Toronto. You go and hire Craig Berube, and all of a sudden they are significantly worse than they were the year before because the styles don't match. You have to find a coach that matches the style of play that you've built or that you think the core can adjust to. And that's what my concern would be is like, if you go get a Bruce Cassidy, does he play the style of play that will benefit from a Lehkonen, McKinnon, Natchez first line? Do you have the pieces in place to run a Peter DeBoer sloppy neutral zone defensive breakdown style of play? Do you go look at the college ranks? Do you try to bring in a Carl? Do you try to look at other stabs and see if you can find a Dave Muse type out of nowhere who found a way to win games?
See, I don't think right now you bring in a coach who doesn't have any NHL experience because he's going to get railroaded by guys like McKinnon and McCarr, and he's not going to have the say that he needs to say. I would love for Carl to come to this team. But I think you need to bring in an experienced coach.
Big butt. My anaconda don't want none.
I agree, and I don't think Carl wants to come to the NHL. I think he's made it very clear that he wants to stay.
I mean, he's had
the
plenty of
collegiate level.
opportunities to coach in the NHL if he wanted it.
Yeah, I think he wants to make DU an even bigger dynasty than it already is.
Which, you know what? Please,
Yeah,
keep
going.
doing that.
Whatever you're doing,
At
love
least
it.
Do that
At least
more.
give us something in this city.
Do it.
Yeah, and I think
I get what you're saying, and I've already said in this podcast. This is just me beating it to death. It's not a knee-jerk reaction for me.
right because you've been on this horse for a while.
And it's like, but like I'll try to go through the list, just starting from the beginning.
Just bring me in a coach that's going to adjust to other teams.
Getting swept is it happens. LA got swept. Getting swept as a President's Trophy heavy favorite is another thing. So that's tick number one is you got swept. In two of those games you had a lead. One was a multi-goal lead, one was a lead going into the third period. That is unacceptable. The next tick on the box is you were leading 2-0 going into period 3 of game 7, and you don't even take that game to overtime. That's a monumental collapse. That's tick number 2. Tick number 3 is the power play, like we've mentioned. And I know that like it's not necessarily the head coach's job to do the power play, but man, this power play has been bad for as far as I am concerned the last 3 years. It's not been like as bad as it is this year, but it's been trending downwards, and that is something a head coach should have picked up on, or Joe Sakic should have picked on.
It's not been the level you expect a team with this talent
with
to have.
literally the top-heavy talent we have, who's like, and I mentioned it when we were talking about earlier in the season, like, what is the problem with the breakaway? And it was like, or what's the problem? I gave the answer. What's the problem with the power play is because we don't have a rush on the power play. We have to, it's a system in place, and the Avalanche just do not fucking understand systems.
And when it works great, but it doesn't work enough.
Well, it's like we said, maybe like for our power play, we just let them clear the puck every time we get a shot so we can get another break in because that's all we can fucking do.
Flying V that shit.
Yeah,
You
and
might
so
as
it's
well.
like, that's another
I mean,
take
it'll be
against
off
Bednar.
sides half the time, but
Yeah,
And like the
well,
other take against Bednar is coming off the cup, losing in the first round because that was disappointing. That wasn't just we played a lot of hockey. No, that was pathetic. Losing again in game 7 when you need to show up, and then losing the game 6, like not even going the full 7 against Dallas the year after that.
yeah.
It's like there are several, and our home record in the playoffs is just fucking dismal. Like there's a lot stacking on itself as the years compile, And the only thing that happened was like the cup came in. Not to say it's the only thing, because that's all that fucking matters.
That is the thing.
That is the objective.
Just like everybody tries to put an asterisk on the Tampa Bay Cup one, is like, no, we all played in the bubble, all right?
Yeah.
They just happened to win it.
Same with the Lakers in 2020. I
Yeah,
didn't put
Look,
an asterisk on that.
I'll talk the shit
You
about
won.
the bubble cup, but god damn it, I wish we would have won the
I
bubble
would
cup.
have liked the bubble cup.
Bubble cup.
Shit.
Bubble cup.
But like,
I want
want
to be
the bubble cup.
I want to be the fan on the other side of people saying, "Yeah, well, asterisk because COVID bubble."
Yeah, but whatever.
and so yeah, and then like, and then
Name's
before
still on the cup.
Yeah,
before the cup, you look at all those other like. Again, against Vegas, who has a kryptonite, you win two. Like statistically speaking, the team, if they win the first two, they win. I think like 65% of the series. Well, we're on Bednar's on the other side of that because we won the first two home games and then got swept.
Well, that's one where like my problem with his it almost seems like stubbornness to adjust. It was like you smoked Vegas in that first game in that series.
Yeah, we did.
And then Vegas came back and played a much better game in game 2. They adjusted to the Avs play style. So you see Vegas starting to adjust, and then they come out and I think they won in overtime in game 3
in 2021.
in 21.
Yes.
I think they won overtime game 3. But like you see Vegas starting to adjust, it didn't seem like the Avs made any adjustments. And with Vegas this year, especially in game 3 where you go up 3-0 and then Vegas starts making a push, you just kept playing your same game. And
Game 2 was overtime.
and didn't adjust at all.
Game 2 was overtime. Game 5 was overtime, and then got blown out in Game 6.
Yeah, it's just like
Good job, guys.
it seems like there's almost a stubbornness to not make those adjustments. And then other times he'll throw the lines in a blender after 5 minutes.
Yeah, because there is something to be said about like sticking to your guns and like we'll play our game. Like we gave credit to Vegas for in game 3 when they were down 3-0. They're like, we're not going to panic. We're still going to play our game.
Right, and they pushed the pace in the second period
Yeah,
and
so
got back into it.
There's definitely credence to give to both sides of it, but it just has not worked out for Bednar more often than it's worked out for him, because one cup in these many years, every other team would like. That's I feel like
one cup with the core that this team has.
like it sucks. It feels like I'm looking a gift horse in the mouth because any like Toronto would say 1 cup in 10 years. Sign me up immediately.
yeah.
Like,
We
where do I sign?
We have 3 cups in 30 years, and they still are looking for their first since 1967.
Yeah, so it's like
I get what you're saying.
I totally understand that, but again, as an Avs fan, you've come to expect a certain level of excellence, and you've also come to expect a certain level of disappointment in just being like, look at how good this team is at losing.
To put this into perspective for other sports fans who may be watching this is similar to like the Mike Shanahan era of the Denver Broncos. Because you had 2 Super Bowls back-to-back in the early portion of that, and then as it progressed, it became an 8-8 franchise, an 8-8 franchise, an 8-8 franchise, and then you're like just barely missing the playoffs, where you are good enough to compete, but bad enough not to get a. You're good enough to be in the playoffs, but not bad enough to get a decent pick to help build your roster back out, or get an opportunity at a marquee title player. And it's different in the NHL because it's usually like the first 5 picks are impact players, and then it's all magic beans from there.
Yeah.
And so it's a different environment because there's not nearly as large of a pool of players that you're pulling from in sense of like consistently talent coming out of college football or anything like that. But then you have someone like Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh, who was literally there for 21 years, won 1 Super Bowl, but made the playoffs every fucking
Which
year.
is absurd that he didn't get fired
Right, but
at
that's
any point during that stretch.
they've had 3 coaches since the 70s.
It's ridiculous.
So
They're stubborn.
because they went from Chuck Noll to Bill Cowher, from Bill Cowher to Mike Tomlin. And now from Mike Tomlin to Mike McCarthy, who's going to be there for like 3 years, and then he's going to get fired, and they're going to start going through the coaching carousel. I agree that maybe his time is up. I think the franchise I think the franchise will make the decision to keep him through the end of this year, and if there is no improvement, they'll move on, which could be a mistake because of the window. But you also have to take into account
Lift it up.
July 1st is a big day in Colorado. because you have the option to re-sign Arturi Lehkonen, you have the option to re-sign Cale Makar, 2 extensions.
And America is turning 250 in a few days.
Right.
Is that this year?
Yes. It's 2026. 1776 to 2026.
Hell yeah, dog.
Math.
That Damn it. Derailing me again.
That's my job, baby.
So that leads you down that
Chugga, chugga,
pathway
chugga,
of
chugga,
do you
chugga,
make
chugga,
the
chugga,
decision then?
Choo choo.
Do you just take one or the two? Or do you re-sign both? And if you do decide to do that now, are you doing it with the intention of keeping Jared Bednar long-term again, depending on what happens next season? Or do you fire Bednar in the offseason, let the new coach come in, and McFarland and the new coach decide which of the 2 players they want to decide to keep out of those 2?
That's where I think if you're going to move on from Bednar, you have got to do it before free agency opens.
Now.
You've got to do it soon.
Agreed.
You have a month, essentially.
Yeah, you've got to do it soon, because if you do it after free agency or after that first week of free agency, then you're in a situation where a coach comes in and this is Bednar's team that I get to coach.
Looked a little pissy there.
Jesus. Chaos. But yeah, if you're going to keep Bednar, I mean, it'll be telling, because if Bednar's still around towards the end of June, I think they're probably going to ride the contract out or see what happens in the regular season, which I think is not the right idea, because I could see a situation where this team comes out on fire again, using the same excuse they've used for the last few years. We're like, we're hungry. We messed up last year. We want it so bad, and they come out and rattle off 20 wins to begin the season, and you don't fire Bednar, and then you get to the playoffs and lose in the first round again or something like that, and then we're having the same conversation next year.
Yep.
I don't know. I think at this point I'd rather have the holy crap, that was the wrong coach conversation than the oh my God, we did it again, time to let him go conversation.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think if that's the decision they need to make it now.
Bring in DeBoer, and then next year we'll have this conversation. We'll see how right or wrong I was.
Fine. Well, you can timestamp it. What, May 27th?
But I will gladly, if it goes poorly, own up to it. But please try it. Just give it a shot. Because maybe he knows what's wrong with his team and can fix it.
Maybe. Wow, that was a lot about.
That's my
Bednar.
story, and I'm sticking to it. I mean, it's a pretty hot topic.
Yeah.
If we're
Any
being honest.
Any final thoughts on this subject?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I guess it's time for the. Do we need to do the lights? No, we're not gonna do the cameras or the lights. Let's just do it this way. It's time for the 3 stars of the podcast.
We won't give everybody the camera seizure this time around.
Yeah, no camera seizure this time. Man, this is a tough one because this has been this was a sad episode.
Those are sad tissues.
I think I'm gonna give mine. Man, who do I want to give mine to? I don't know. I don't know who to give a star to this episode because there was no real positives. I'm gonna give it to. You know what? I'm gonna give it to Logan O'Connor because he's the only one who showed up for the 4 games this series, and most of this playoffs. Guy missed 69 games and played like a bat out of hell. So
In the honest post-game interview.
yep. So Sean.
I'm going to give my star to our new banner.
Yay!
Because it's cool and it's here. And now we're all like professional and shit with a backdrop that makes sense.
And it smells good.
It does. It smells like vinyl.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's got that good freshly printed vinyl smell.
And Alex.
I'm gonna give it to EJ. Speaking the truth, doing the Avs favors.
Hopefully.
He's not a homer. He speaks it like it is. I still love him.
Yeah.
He's about the best thing ESPN's got.
Yeah, their broadcast group is brutal.
And he's a beautiful man.
Facts.
And he likes horses.
Yeah.
I wonder how far in the next season we get before he just completely has the shirt all the way unbuttoned.
Hopefully not too long.
Because it seemed like almost like every other game, another button was getting undone.
It's like you back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, your pirate phase.
Yeah.
I'll have to post some pictures at some point.
My shirts had buttons, but I didn't think they did.
Did he have any horses at the Kentucky Derby this year?
I have no fucking idea. I just know he had Landeskog once.
I think he sold the Landeskog horse.
Because he has Condor. I think he has a couple other horses.
No.
Anyway.
Maybe we can get him on the podcast and talk to him about it.
Oh, that'd be nice. I don't want to call ESPN, but I'll try. All right. Also, congratulations to the Montreal Victoire or Victory for being the first Canadian team to win a cup since 1993. Ironically, Montreal as well. And being the second ever winner of the Walter Cup.
Damn it, Ottawa.
And now Marie-Philippe Poulin has everything, and she can retire immediately. And
Can she coach?
congratulations. She could. That's actually true. There's a chance.
I mean, maybe.
With,
Can she coach?
With 4 brand new teams, I would not be surprised if someone tries to pick her up as a coach.
Like the Colorado Avalanche?
Ooh,
Yes.
that would be. I would love to see that. That's winning pedigree right there, on all accounts.
Yeah, and if you're going to get any Canadians to fucking get fired up, it's her.
Holy shit.
Yeah, the female caps in Canada.
Marie-Philippe Poulin, the first female NHL head coach, and it's with the Colorado Avalanche.
Oh, my God, I wish.
That would
Yeah,
be
that'd be
sick.
rad.
That would be so dope.
All right, everybody, will it into existence.
Yes, Marie-Philippe Poulin as the new head coach of the Colorado Avalanche. Bring it in. All right, with that being said, please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know who your star of the podcast is. And if you guys have any suggestions or thoughts for what we should do during the off season, let us know. We're going to be doing a lot with the draft, maybe, with some of the prospects and free agency, definitely. That's Sean's level of expertise, as well as some fun evergreen topics and things about, lists and ideas and constructs across, as well as maybe some other fun stuff related to some other hobbies and fun activities. With that being said, though, I'm Mike. That's Alex. That's Sean. This has been the PesterLinePod, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Oh, good. Love you. Bye.